I'm Emilie Maes. I'm from Belgium. I studied in Brussels at the Free University of Brussels, and after my 5 years of law school, I went 1 year to the University of Chicago, where I did an LLM degree. The funny thing about Chicago is that you don't really need to say in advance which classes you're gonna take. You can actually choose all your classes. And that was one of the main reasons why I chose for Chicago. Well, how did I get there? I think that's something people want to know. Basically, I started well in advance. I started like 1.5 years before getting there with researching some stuff. And yeah, well, I chose like 5 universities where I applied, and well, in the end, I got accepted. I think in 3 or 4, and but then I think that the choice was obvious. And Chicago is also a very nice city to go to. The campus is a bit outside the center of the city, but it's a nice campus, and yeah. Well, I think other advices I can give to people, start in advance and try to make sure you have your funding. I think that is one of the most difficult things. I did BIF. I got the BIF scholarship, which is actually a Belgian scholarship, so I think for the people from Luxembourg it will be less convenient information, but yeah, it's basically a lot of materials you use for your applications for the US law schools you can use also for the BIF application. And if you pass for the first round, you can come a second time and then you have an interview. The interview is pretty hard. There are like a lot of professors listening and challenging you. But I think it works out well if you are well prepared. Besides looking for funding, I had also to take the TOEFL test, which I think it's useful for that test to try a couple of times the simulation test, and I think that's a perfect preparation for the test. I think some people don't need it, but I think it's useful because you get used to the way the exam is. So you have like, I think it was 15 seconds to talk and think, so you need to be very quickly, and I think therefore it's useful to try it a couple of times from beforehand. I always perceive the US as a very challenging country, also a country of free speech where everyone just says what he's thinking, and I think it's completely true that you also perceive this in the way people teach you in the US. In the beginning I was very shy in classes. Professors are challenging you all the time and asking questions, and American students just reply and respond and try on, and we are just a bit more afraid to say something wrong. So in the beginning you're kind of afraid, but after a while it gets much better. So I think that's completely true what they say, or yeah, or how you perceive the US. I think for law students it's very important. For some people who want to work in a big law firm, they often require an additional LLM, and I think it's very much appreciated if you do an additional LLM in the United States, because I mean, you get some more maturity when after law school you also do 1 year in the US. I think that might be also important for people to know, but I think most law students who want to go to the US know this already. I also chose to take the bar. That's not an obvious choice. Many people don't take it, some take it. Personally, I think it was a great experience. It was very hard. You had to study a lot, and it was learning a lot by heart, a bit more like at European universities. But in the end, I pretty much liked it. It's always nice to have that additional degree, even if it's not very, very useful immediately. Certainly, if you practice law in Belgium, you don't really need that additional degree. But it's nice self-fulfillment, and I think in the end, yeah, it was a good choice to take it. Well, start in advance. Be very precise in your goals when you apply for university or for a scholarship. I think you need a real goal. You need to show the universities and the institutions that provide for scholarships that you have been thinking about it and that you know what you want, not just 1 year of fun in the US. So I think that is quite important. And of course, try to make the best the whole year. I think it's an experience of only 1 year, so it's pretty short, and so try to make every day a great day. I think don't lose or don't waste time on stupid stuff.